Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, the one and only Hosting Cruz, bringing you another exciting edition of boxing. Don't forget to hit and to like, subscribe to my channel. It's always greatly appreciated. Stay tuned. Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Hosting Cruz, and guys, breaking news earlier this morning. One of the greatest boxers I've ever seen, one of the greatest talents I've ever seen step in the boxing ring, has officially announced his retirement. At age 37, the Matrix, Mr. High Tech, whatever you want to call him, Vasyl Lomachenko, ladies and gentlemen, the current IBF lightweight champion of the world, who relinquished the title due to his retirement. Now, Lomachenko, like I said, he is one of the best boxers I've ever seen, one of the most talented fighters I've ever seen. And what a career. What a career. 18 wins, 3 losses, guys, 12 knockouts, 3 division world champion. Has fought some of the best the sport has to offer. One of the few fighters to step in their boxing ring and fight for a world title in their second fight. I remember when I first saw Lomachenko in his pro career, the first fight at the Thomas & Mack Center, it was on the undercard of Bradley versus Juan Manuel Marquez, and Lomachenko didn't waste any time in displaying his talent. I was like, whoa, what is, look at this guy. The way he would go in there and frustrate his opponents and twist and turns and angles upon angles and punch placements. And while he's twisting and turning his opponents, he is landing body shots, uppercut, hooks, and just, it's like everything was thought of before he did it. Like, okay, I'm going to put a body shot here. I'm going to put a body shot here. Let me turn him, put a body shot there. I'm going to launch an uppercut upstairs, right hook. It was just incredible to see. Lomachenko in his prime, in the beginning of his professional career, was just, and even in the end, man, it just the career of Vasyl Lomachenko is nothing but pure greatness. You know, very entertaining fighter, very highly skilled, never in a boring fight, you know, gave it his all, and he retires at 37 years old. You know, just like I've said about Manny Pacquiao in my last vid, there's nothing else to prove. Lomachenko has done it all in his career. I mean, he's had a long boxing career filled with action fights, drama fights. You know, Lomachenko has had some tough fights with the Teofimo fight, the Jorge Alares fight. He's made fighters quit 4 fights in a row. There was a time where Lomachenko was making fighters quit on their stool, like Subriel Matias. He was making good fighters quit. He made Nicholas Walters quit, Guillermo Rigondeaux quit, Jason Sosa quit. I mean, it was just a thing for 4 or 5 fights straight. Something I've never seen in the sport. And that's where the frustration of his style comes in, because he's so talented and he's giving you all these angles and twists and turns and just doing whatever the hell he wants to do with you, and he's making you frustrated and making you quit. And yeah, but it was just, Lomachenko was a pleasure to watch. Like I said earlier on in his career, when he was doing all these angles and twists and turns, and he would pop his hand, he would pop He would throw a couple jabs. There was moments in the fight where he would throw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jabs in a row, and the opponent's not doing anything. And Lomachenko was like throwing those jabs, and then like, okay, here I come with a body shot. Boop, he's not gonna do anything about it. Boop, twist and turn, sidestep, bop. It was just entertaining as hell. You know, it's boxing is not easy, and to go in there and make it look that easy is crazy. So yeah, man, 3 division world champion, 18-3, 12 KOs. Retires as lightweight champion of the world, but of course he lets go of it, which makes Raymond Murataya elevates from interim to world champion, main world champion. So Raymond Murataya becomes the new IBF lightweight champion due to the retirement of Vasyl Lomachenko. Now Lomachenko, he's had that title for a year. He's been out of the ring for over a year, a little bit over a year. And when you're a true fighter, like Lomachenko, you know, a fighter, a boxer is hard. One of the hardest things to do as a fighter is to retire. You've been doing this your whole life, and just what Chenko did by holding the title for a year and not fighting for a little bit over a year, it just shows how hard that decision is, because he was holding that title hostage, and he didn't fight for over a year, and but he never announced his retirement. So we were wondering if he was coming back. You know, is he going to defend the title? I said it in one of my last videos about Chenko and Murataya, that if Chenko comes back, then Murataya will have to fight Lomachenko, and that would be a good fight. But I also said that the possibility of Lomachenko hanging him up and now making Murataya champion is also a possibility, and now we're here. Loma retires, and now Murataya is champion. Lomachenko will go down as one of the greatest fighters in the history of the sport. 2-time gold medal winner. You know, has dedicated a lot to the sport, has had a long, grueling career. And at 37 is still young, even though that's not in his prime. 37, yeah. It's a good time to call it, man. You don't want to be sticking around too long. I felt Lomachenko could have also come back and fight. I think he still had a lot left in the tank, but it's his call. He's a grown man, and now that he's retired, the career that he's had is Hall of Fame worthy for sure. I'm just talking, and all this time I'm just talking about his professional record, his professional career. We're not even talking about the 396 wins in the amateur that he's had, with one loss. 396 wins and one loss, and that one loss was avenged twice. So we are quite possibly talking about the greatest amateur career in the history of the sport. So it's not only one of the greatest boxing careers, it's not only one of the greatest professional careers, but it's also is also the greatest possibly amateur career. So Lomachenko, man, congratulations on your retirement, well deserved. You dedicated your entire life to this sport, hard, grueling, brutal sport. 396 fights you had. You got up, run for those, train for those. The one loss that you took, avenged twice, and then also in your professional career, 18-3, 12 KOs. You train your butt off for those fights and won 3 division world titles, 2 Olympic gold medals, and even finish your career off holding a title, the IBF title. Of course, now that he's retired, he's going to have to let it go. And of course, the IBF is going to send him a belt for him to keep at home, to put on his display wherever he keeps his titles. But all in all, man, congratulations to Lomachenko on his retirement. Well deserved. Hope he enjoys it, and he will be missing the sport, man. like I said, one of the greatest fighters to ever do it, one of the most entertaining, one of the most talented fighters I've ever seen in the sport for as long as I've been watching boxing. So the Matrix, Mr. High Tech, um, Vasyl Lomachenko, uh, kudos to your retirement, man. You deserve it. So, hey guys, let me know what you guys think on Lomachenko retiring. Like I said, it's one of the greatest fights. It's one of the greatest fighters ever, and one of the greatest boxing careers I've ever seen. So, there you have it. Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Hosting Cruz. Don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel, as it is always a pleasure to talk to you guys about boxing. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.